Hi everybody, thanks for stopping at my channel. Today we have a project that really was difficult for me. I don't know why. Here are the items I'm going to play with. Some great things, some dies, some papers, of course my MDF board. I'm going to put down the background papers with my matte medium, and let's get started. Down my matte medium and my collage papers, and I'm adhering these cutouts from Elizabeth Craft Designs. They're fern cutouts. I'm using my matte medium and I'm going to add that second layer of texture. I was really wanting this piece to be a summertime feel with the bee, the flowers. We'll see what happens. Now I'm going to cover the background because it's dry with my gesso, covering it all up, and we're going to push that layer to the background. I'm adding some texture paste, and this is actually crackle paste. I think it's really fun when it dries, and again adding another layer of texture. We've got to let this dry, and I'm going to use this stencil. It reminds me of Honeycolmb. I'm going to use some yellow acrylic paint, and then I'm going to add a little bit of brown. I'm bumping the stencil a little bit to the right after I put down the yellow and covering it with brown. It makes a really neat effect, giving it kind of a 3D effect with the acrylic paint. You'll see when it gets a little bit farther along. I'll have an up-close look for you. You'll see in the next couple frames, I have a major oops. I left it in the videoing though, just to show you how easy it is to fix any mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes as long as you're creating. We want to create. We want to see what happens with different textures. I'm letting this dry, and now I'm going to use some black gesso, and I'm putting it through this stencil. Well, here is where everything goes wrong. I'm using my palette knife, being very careful to get in through all of the stencil portions, and then I decide to use my finger. Big no-no. You'll see what happens. The paint, or the black gesso, excuse me, pushes through the holes of the stencil, and it leaves a very unattractive design. But we can fix it. See what I mean? It just mushed through the stencil. It was not what I was going for. I needed a real crisp edge, and I think I'll try it again, but just not on this piece. So I get out my baby wipes and my alcohol, and I remove it. Don't get discouraged. It'll all work out in the end. It'll be a beautiful piece because you made it. You put the time in. It was your creativity, and anything can be fixed. After I let it dry a bit, I'm covering it again with gesso. And then I'll go back with the stencil adding the yellow and the brown, and you would never know that I made that mistake. So I had to change gears. It's okay. The piece turned out in the end. It just was difficult for me. Not one of my favorite pieces, but I thought I would leave the process in there so you can see not every piece is a masterpiece. It's all in the eye of the beholder. Here's me bumping that stencil again, putting the brown over the top of the yellow. I'm just putting my pieces down. This is a bee that I got out of some pattern paper. And here I'm going to put down my sentiment. I'm using a piece of white tissue paper and some stamps, and I'm writing the phrase, "Be free." I'm being very careful, if you notice, not to stamp through the tissue paper and getting the imprint from behind the tissue paper. That will go through and that'll smudge your letters. Here I'm making a little mistake by making the F for the free a little too far away. I just redid it up above. It all turned out okay in the end. Now that my other piece is dry, I'm going to go back and I'm going to put some brown paint on there. You know how I like to do that. I'm cutting off the edges of the ferns that were overhanging and taking my raw umber paint and watering it down with a lot of water to make a wash. I'm going to put it on with my brush and get in all of those nooks and crannies, creating all that texture again. I really like this piece at this point. Using water, sopping it up with my towel, and let it go to town. More water, dabbing it off, and of course we have to let it dry. I also want to put a shout out to everyone that subscribed to my channel. I was trying to get to 100 subscribers last week and I exceeded it. Thank you so much for anyone that was supporting me. I really appreciate it. I'm just checking out my placement here where I want to put my bee and my sentiments. I'm ripping out the sentiments that are dry, of course, and I'm going to adhere them with my matte medium. First, I decide to do a little bit of stamping. This is a French script stamp that I'm going to put another layer of texture into the background. It's all about the texture and the layers. I'm using Archival ink in potting soil to do this. Be sure to let that layer dry. Drying is the most important thing. And of course, being creative. Using my matte medium to put down my sentiment, which is be free. And I guess this was what this piece was all about. Being free to create, not worrying about it, mistakes happen, and keep going. Be gentle with that tissue paper. I almost dripped it there. I'm adhering my bee now. Need a little bit more glue. Matte medium is what I'm using. And of course, we're going to let it dry. Very important at this stage, because when you use your charcoal pencil, it won't adhere to the wet matte medium. pencil and a stencil from Shawn Petite. This is the Postage stencil. I use it a lot. I'm also using Archival ink in jet black and a small brush that I love to use for stenciling. I will add all of the products below with links where you can purchase if you need anything. And if you purchase through my website, through my YouTube channel, I get a small commission, but no cost to you. It just helps support my channel, get you the supplies you need, and you can shop right through my channel, and everything will be there for you. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know in the description below. I love to answer comments. Just putting that layer of charcoal pencil around the bee, my focal point, and it just gives it a 3D effect. Brings it out from the page. This is where the piece all comes together. I'm also going to use an Inktense bark watercolor pencil, some water, and a brush. It seemed to be an easy way to get in with all of those fronds from the fern. It gives that more dimension. I'm going around the sentiment. And I'm also going to use a Uniball white gel pen to add a little bit of white to the eyes of the bee, a little bit of white to the insides of the letters, and also at the end I'm going to use a glitter marker, and I will leave all the things listed below. Here comes that black border. This is a distress crayon in black soot. It really frames the piece. I'm starting to like it now. Here's that watercolor pencil. What do you think? It's almost finished. This was a difficult piece for me, and sometimes they don't all go easily. It just goes to show you. Sometimes it's real easy, and sometimes it's just not. But creating is creating. It was relaxing, it was fun, and I enjoyed the process. And I wasn't afraid to make a mistake. We can always use that alcohol and wipe it right off. I want to thank everyone for joining me again on my creative journey. I'll be back next Tuesday to share another piece with you, and please, if you have any comments, I'd love to hear them. Enjoy your week, and thank you again for watching.